what I'm suggesting is time, which through my research I've come across these figures that it isn't, it's already known. And that's the funny thing about doing all this internal research and figuring things out for yourself, laying down in bed and just thinking, what is the whole, the picture of the whole in a small little form that I can easily recognize. And what is amazing to me is how taken for granted infinity really is. And now I was saying time is seemingly left, right, past, present, future. And up here is space is three-dimensional, time is one-dimensional. And down here, time is three-dimensional, space is one-dimensional. What does that mean? Well, that means we're living basically in both at the same time, but we only perceive, if this is space-time and this is time-space down here, we only perceive ourselves as being in space-time. But we know that we have our past and present and futures. Now going into dualities of that, we can get into the whole Donnie Darko movie, the two main things, fear and love. And Donnie Darko goes up there and says, well, you can't just classify them like that. There's more to it than that. Well, he's right and he's wrong. It has to be a balance. He's right in that, yeah, there are so many more complexities to human emotion than just fear and love. But he's wrong in that when you break it down to the basest concepts of what consciousness and life truly really are, there is only fear and love, negativity, positivity, life, death. These things have to exist harmoniously. Now, how do they do that? I have a few little things I like to use, such as how can we tell, or how can we discern that this time right now, as it's passing by in this reality, how is there any way that we can tell that we are in fact coexisting with this alternate where time is 3D and space is one-dimensional? Now, if you go to this concept of time being three-dimensional, where all times exist as at the same time, all times exist at the same time. Now, we can get into such radical thinking of that as I can say right here at the tip of my finger, right now, at this very instant. Actually, I like to snap my fingers to provide a depiction of instants, even though the snapping of a finger, even though it sounds instantaneous, to some perception, to some form or frequency of perception, that is lasting forever, because all times are existing as one, and each state and point of time in our one-dimensional space is infinitely existing. And we know it's existing because if it didn't exist, it wouldn't happen. And if it doesn't exist, it's not going to happen. And since it does, and whatever, you know. But if we go into this domain where time is three-dimensional, space is one-dimensional, then we have to consider, if space is one-dimensional, that means it encompasses the entire universe as either what the I don't know who originally stated it, but ether, or substance, which everything is a part of. If space is one-dimensional, then the entirety either is or isn't. Now, it's not either, it is both. It is solid, real, there, coherent, cohesive, it's there, at the same time as it's not. And the only way I can demonstrate kind of visually, comprehensively this is a flashing light. And the light's flashing, and the light starts flashing and flashing, and then it's flashing so fast that it just seems like it's just the light that's on and it's not flashing anymore. So, if space in this realm is one-dimensional, that means that at the tip of my finger, the Big Bang, every single particle in the entire known universe is happening right here, right now, at this very point right there. Now, once you come to grips with that and you can understand and accept that, then you have to come to grips and understand and accept that what I just said could have been said in the exact same way, but my finger could have been right here. Now, from there, another example, snap my fingers right here. I just snapped my fingers. That happened in the past. Did I snap my fingers over here? Seemingly no. It was my conscious decision to have my hand right here when I snapped my fingers. But that doesn't mean that my fingers didn't snap over here, existing, coexisting in the same reality that my fingers snapped over here. Now from here we can say, okay, if the universe, the Big Bang, started right here, the tip of my finger, or let's say wherever we right now picture the Big Bang from emanating from a specific point, which we may someday find, then every point it is growing at a pace that right now time is tethered to permanently, meaning Big Bang can happen right here. If it does happen right here, it will have expanded at the same rate as our universe has right now at this point in time. Meaning, the universe Big Bang right here, and this is how big our universe is. Now, we take the same concept, and the Big Bang had to have happened in the middle of this universe. Well, it also had to have happened over here on the edge of the universe, if there is an edge. It must have happened over here, and when it happened over here, what happened? The exact same thing. It bubbles out to the same point in time we are in right now, but in an alternate state of space. So then you get the boom, 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 and the, I guess, butterfly effect or Casimir effect of infinity, where it is ever expanding and always happening, and at the same time always ending. Now, in my Kundalini experience, I came to the realization that the basis thing, I remember saying, awesome, amazing, I'm in space, I'm one with everything. And I was totally conscious during the whole thing. And I remember saying at the same